Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we are seeing the tropics quieting down a little bit, though Beryl is still active, just slightly weaker, and other areas of interest to track. Alright, so as of now, in the next 7 days, we only have disturbances in the eastern Pacific and the North Atlantic, though beyond the 7-day range, we could be seeing the western Pacific pick up once again. So, very interesting to see how that basin has been a little bit more quiet recently, and the eastern Pacific has just started its season. Alright, Tropical Depression 1E was just designated. It formed from Invest 91E, which formed this week, and this depression is going to curve to the northeast and then to the southeast, turning really dissipating by Friday evening or Saturday morning, and it will not become a tropical storm, at least not expected in the forecast, and will remain a tropical depression through the next day or so. Now, no warnings up because the system is off the coast of Mexico and continuing to move away, so no land impacts really expected. We had a little bit of convection in the last day or so, and the system really got itself together, though of course not strong. It is a tropical depression and out to sea, which is good to hear. So this system has finally kicked off with a very late start. Now looking at the Central Pacific, we have nothing, but really our main story today is the Atlantic. First, we have our Disturbance 1, which is Invest 96L, which still has a small percentage chance. Now in the next 48 hours, it's down from 10 to 0, but in the next 7 days from the National Hurricane Center, it's at a 10% instead of 20. So behind Beryl, the system could form. As of now, I'll show you the satellite imagery. We have quite a bit of shear, especially on the northern side, so it's really been stopping the storm from forming, and not the most ideal conditions for tropical development. Now, this invest will be moving over the Yucatan Peninsula, and in the Bay of Campeche it could form, but because of some wind shear and interaction with land and also with Hurricane Beryl, it might have a decreased chance of forming. Of course, 10% is not a lot, but it's still there. So another system from Mexico having to be tracked. But then after that, we're not really seeing any storms, so very interesting to see. Going back to the 7-day forecast, this system is to the south of the Dominican Republic, and pretty much just out to sea, maybe some clouds or rain showers for Puerto Rico today. And maybe into the Dominican Republic we could see some showers. As of now, not really much going on with that system. Now, Hurricane Beryl, down from major hurricane status. It was a Category 3 just a few moments ago, but it was declassified, and it now is a Category 2 with winds of 110 miles per hour. It made a close pass to Jamaica as a Category 4. It looked quite terrible, with not even a good eye being shown on satellite imagery and infrared. But this system did move past the Cayman Islands and now is headed towards Mexico. Now, Cuba is not really expected to see many tropical storm impacts, though it could see some rain. We'll go towards the satellite imagery to get a better look. Now, most of the warnings have been watches have been upgraded to warnings in the Yucatan Peninsula. No other warnings up, but I could see that changing soon. We have a hurricane warning for a lot of the eastern coast of Mexico, and Cozumel is in that cone as well. Then a tropical storm warning for the northern part of the peninsula. And down towards Belize, we have a tropical storm watch and a hurricane watch. And tropical storm warning along the coast of along the border of Mexico and Belize. Sorry. Then also we could see an extension of the hurricane warning farther north, though if this system continues to move towards that southern edge of that cone, which I don't see likely happening, but it is a possibility, then that hurricane warning would not be extended farther north. But very interesting to see how the system is taking shape. As of now, it's been overperforming, but now finally it has begun to weaken. Not even a major hurricane, but that could be misleading, as this system still is dangerous and could make landfall as a Category 1, maybe a 2, in the Yucatan Peninsula, and then by the time it emerges in the northern part of the Bay of Campeche, it is expected to be a tropical storm. There could be a Category 1 at landfall in the state of Tamaulipas in Mexico, or maybe even a Category 2. The Brownsville area could see hurricane conditions all the way up towards Houston, and we have to see whether the system continues to make that slight northern tick in trending of track guidance. Now a lot of the models have been very in a lot of disagreement in the past few days, but we've seen a lot more agreement recently, so I will show you that shortly. Now, other than that, the system again is nearing on the Yucatan Peninsula and should make landfall around the early morning hours of Friday, and it should emerge into the Yucatan Peninsula closer towards midnight on Friday, going into Saturday. Now, a possible landfall could be anywhere from midday on Sunday, or really the afternoon hours, towards maybe the early morning hours on Tuesday, depending on how far north it is able to get. There is a bit of wind shear going on, and it is there is a bit of marginal wind shear going on where it is right now, so it has contributed to its weakening, along with several eye wall replacement cycles earlier in the week and in the past few days. And very interesting to see what it will do. I don't think it has enough time to get to major hurricane status. Very unlikely is it now. And I think it'll be a Category 1, and so does the National Hurricane Center. But there is the small possibility of a Category 2 hurricane. Now moving on to the satellite imagery, we had a bit of the eye looking a little bit better in the last few frames, though definitely not a major hurricane anymore. It is continued weakening, and we still see some clouds over the Cayman Islands and probably some rain going on for the western tip of Cuba and the southern part of the country. You could see some of those clouds coming in towards the Yucatan Peninsula, and then probably in around a few hours you'll start seeing some isolated rain showers before the hurricane and tropical storm conditions really start to move in towards Mexico. Going back to current storms, we do have our intensity guidance, which a little bit behind as of now, just one update behind. Category 2, and is expected to really drop off now towards Category 1 or tropical storm intensity in the next 36 hours. Some models don't take this out of hurricane intensity, but I think it'll really weaken after landfall, and still 2 more landfalls again expected. And we only had one that was in Grenada on the island of Curacao. So interesting to see that this is a 3 landfall system, though sad to see that it quite devastated the southern Lesser Antilles, the Windward Islands. Now, going on past the 2-day range, this system, quite a few models take this below tropical storm intensity, though that is likely to be after landfall in Mexico or Texas. This system is expected to dissipate inland in Texas, though its rain could move slightly farther inland, though not tropical by any means. A few models, again, take this at Category 1 status before landfall in Texas, but there is quite a bit of a split, so interesting to see what is going on there. We have these 2 groups of models, one here and one here, though the National Hurricane Center seems to be splitting the road, with a Category 2 going down towards tropical storm intensity, and then a peak somewhere in the Category 1 range before the wind speeds really die off. We don't really see any model exactly like that, but it seems like the National Hurricane Center is taking the middle ground on the intensity. Now the track guidance, a lot of these global models, we see a lot of agreement now. Really, the Brownsville area is expected to be in the center of the cone now, and a landfall in Tamaulipas in Mexico is seeming less likely as of now. Now, central Texas towards Houston looks to be the eastern edge of the cone, and the National Hurricane Center will probably make that cone smaller coming forward, since there is more agreement. But again, you see some models taking this inland, and definitely not tropical storm or hurricane conditions all the way up here, but we could be seeing some rain with that. Nothing serious there, and finally the system could dissipate soon. So very good to see that. Now here is the cone once again, just to remind you that it is expected to become a tropical depression inland in Texas, and soon we could see that extratropical icon come up in this cone. Alright, now looking at our other systems, we'll just look at intensity guidance for Invest 96L. Just a few models taking this up towards tropical storm status, and as often this model is, the ship model is on the high end with the Category 1. Very unlikely as of now, and I really don't see that coming to fruition, so I would not take that too seriously, but still something to keep an eye on. Now all we're going to look at is the models for the Western Pacific. We do have some activity going on. As you can see, towards the equatorial regions, we do have quite a bit of moisture. And then as we move forward in time, we do have some areas of interest. First, we have a couple low pressure systems trying to develop towards the intertropical convergence zone, and we have this small wave, which I do not think will form as it moves towards Luzon and the northern Philippines. Now, in the South China Sea, we also have another system moving off the coast of Malaysia and towards Vietnam, though again, no development chance as of now for any of these systems, as it is beyond mostly the 7-day range and really no confidence for that. Only a few models really bring this, but what I'm really worried about, and not too worried, but definitely watching, since this is on the later part of the range, we could see a tropical storm form for central part of the Philippines and maybe even the northern part, and then moving into the South China Sea. Then finally we have more rain moving towards the west-northwest, and then we also have this other system, 992 millibars on the GFS, so a possible tropical storm. That is the weakest it brings it at the end of the model run, really 991, 990 millibars. So interesting to see if that storm will form too, though I'm very far out as of now, and would likely be a fish storm. Alright, that's really it for today. There's not much else going on. In the North Indian, we don't have anything going on, and not in the Southern Hemisphere, as we are really in winter now there, and the tropical parts of those basins are too cool and quiet for any development. So nice to see that aside from Beryl, we don't really have much going on, and Beryl thankfully is weakening and continuing to weaken in the next few days. Alright, that's really it for today. Thank you for watching.